Incredible twist, housekeeping staff's daughter revealed as hotel owner's hidden daughter, touching secrets unveiled. Emma's heart raced like a hummingbird as she ducked into the dimly lit corridor of the Chicago hotel where she had worked tirelessly for over a decade. Each day began with the creaking of her bones and the same hopes: an honest living, a better life for her daughter Lily, and a rent check on time. Fighting against the bustling city, Emma was a warrior in scrubs, a guardian of dreams in the shadows. But today was different. Today, a letter found between dusty pages whispered secrets that could change everything. Late-night dinners were their sanctuary. Emma and Lily huddled over steaming plates of spaghetti, laughter ricocheting off the kitchen walls, each smile a balm over the bruises of their struggles. "We're tougher than any storm," Emma would often say, but looming over their little haven was a thunderclap: the hotel renovation threatening their livelihood. Just as she steeled herself against that uncertainty, the letter entered her world. The papery weight of the letter felt heavy in her hands. Inside, the scrawl of an unknown author unraveled a twist of fate. The hotel's owner, Anne, lived a dual life. Estranged from her family, the letter echoed with the ache of disconnection. Watching Lily grow into a remarkable young woman, Emma felt the weight of secrets and injustice. And as luck would have it, that very afternoon, Lily stumbled upon family photos in the attic, snapshots of a time long gone but eerily familiar, a ghostly resemblance to Anne. Time froze for them both. "Mom!" Lily's voice cracked like thunder in an empty room. Emma rushed up the stairs, breath hitching at the thought. What had she uncovered? The truth twisted in Emma's chest like a vine threatening to choke her. A hidden family? Recognition? It was both exhilarating and terrifying. Should she confront Anne? Should they demand acknowledgement, justice for the sacrifices made? Or was it wiser to remain in the background, protect Lily from possible heartache? The thoughts clashed in Emma's mind like storm clouds. Weeks later, as the community festival lit up the town square with laughter and music, the air buzzed with electricity. Emma, wearing her heart on her sleeve, maneuvered through throngs of familiar faces. Then, like fate itself orchestrating a symphony, she found herself face to face with Anne. It was a collision of worlds, one glamorous, the other humble, yet both women bore the weight of dreams unfulfilled. "Do you know who you are?" Emma's voice caught like a fish on a line, trembling but fierce. Anne's expression shifted from surprise to something deep: pain, understanding. Behind all the glitter, both struggled. Amidst the crowd, Emma's emotions collided: resentment, hope, a longing for change. "You can't just look the other way," she burst out, igniting whispers around them. The vibrant backdrop dulled, their confrontation thickened the air, the crowd holding its breath, each heart sinking with their own. With the reality of their shared history hanging in the balance, Emma realized it was not just her journey at stake but Lily's too. As they stood there, time stilled, she felt the weight of a future crumbling or a possibility blossoming. Later, as streetlights flickered to life, Emma and Lily returned home, silence woven between them, a silence filled with questions and unease. Could they confront the past together, redefine who they were, or let the fear of uncertainty pull them apart? Fear and hope mingled, sparking a flicker of resolve. What awaited them at the next chapter? They leaned over the balcony, the city thriving below, both hearts racing with what could be. The next morning, Emma woke up to the sound of Lily humming softly in the kitchen, the aroma of pancakes wafting through their small apartment. It was a bittersweet reminder of their simple life, one that hinged on love and resilience. As Emma pressed her palms to the cool countertop, the weight of yesterday's encounter loomed in her thoughts. Should she let the past dictate their future? "Morning, Mom." Lily smiled, her face brightening the room. She flipped a pancake with the ease of a chef. "Thought I'd whip up something special for us." Emma smiled back, trying to mask her anxiety. "That sounds perfect, sweetheart." But her mind raced. The confrontation with Anne had pulled back the curtain on a family saga they had never wanted to be a part of, but now, shaking with potential, it felt like the start of something monumental. "Are you excited for the festival today? I heard there's a talent show." Lily's voice danced with anticipation. Sure, it'll be fun, Emma replied, though her heart wasn't in it. She was stuck somewhere between protecting her daughter and embracing an unknown future. You're going to win that talent show, you know that, right? I can try. Lily's words trailed off, uncertainty creeping into her bright optimism. But Mom, you're not acting like your usual self. What's up? Emma took a breath, her daughter's piercing gaze tugging at her heart. It's just things are complicated with Anne. I've been thinking a lot about what we discovered. It could change everything for us. How do you feel about her? Lily asked, eyes wide and curious. Emma hesitated. How could she possibly articulate the storm inside? I don't know if I'm hurt, angry, or maybe even intrigued. She's my boss, but she's also my birth mom, right? Lily interrupted, her voice firm but trembling slightly. What if she's not like we thought? Emma's heart sank. They had spoken after the discovery of the photos, but this was new territory. A clamor of emotions bubbled between them: fear, regret, excitement. We have to be careful, Lily. It's a lot to take in. We don't know what she wants. I think we deserve answers. For ourselves, Mom. Lily's determination sparked something deep within Emma. She looked at her daughter, standing resilient in the face of uncertainty. As the day wore on, a heaviness settled over Emma. The festival was a swirl of laughter, music, and families, yet Emma felt detached, like a spectator in a world she didn't belong to. The tension simmered between her and Lily, unsaid words swirling in the air around them, but Lily took the lead, her courage shining through. Let us go find Anne. We need to talk to her. Together. Emma's heart raced. Lily, are you sure? What if? Mom, we can't keep running from this. It's part of who we are. Don't you want to know? Emma stared at Lily, the fire in her daughter's eyes igniting her own. She could sense the shift. This was their crossroads, a moment that could redefine everything. With a nod filled with determination, they wove through the festival crowd, each step pulling them closer to the truth, and as they approached the stage, where the vibrant colors and sound melded into a dazzling display, Emma felt the pull of the unknown wrapping around her heart, a mix of excitement and fear. Would confronting and be their liberation or another source of pain? The question lingered heavily in the evening air as the music swelled around them, a melody of hope composed in worry and anticipation. When they finally spotted and across the gathering the glimmering figure that stirred wrenching emotions, Emma took a deep breath. This was it, the moment of confrontation loomed before them, electrifying and terrifying. Could they really step into this new reality hand in hand? What awaited them on the other side of fear? Lily could barely contain her excitement as they made their way through the festival crowd, her small fingers squeezing Emma's hand tightly. It was a channel of warmth that pulsed with both comfort and fear. The music blared around them, a symphony of joy, but inside, Emma felt a tension, like a rubber band stretched too far. As they finally reached Anne, Emma caught her breath. And stood there, conversing animatedly with a group of friends, her laughter ringing clear, bright amidst the sounds of the festival. She looked so alive, so vibrant, contrasting sharply with the uncertainty that gnawed at Emma's insides. Could this woman truly hold the pieces of their lives they'd never known about? Lily, wait, Emma said, halting in her tracks. The grip around her daughter's hand tightened as she tried to squeeze out a few more moments of calm. Are you sure you want to do this? But Lily was already pulling away, her heart set. We need to understand, Mom. I want to know who she is. Emma nodded slowly, stepping forward as Lily approached Anne. As they drew closer, and finally turned, her eyes sparkling under the warm string lights overhead. Emma. Lily. What a surprise. Anne's voice was bright, inviting. For a moment, Emma's heart lifted, as if all would be well. Then the reality of the situation washed over her again. Can we talk? Lily's voice was steady, surprisingly strong for someone so young. Emma felt a burst of pride mixed with fear. And S' smile faltered slightly, her brow knitting together in apprehension. Of course. Is everything okay? Emma searched her face, hoping for signs of sincerity. It's about the past. We found some things. Photos. The curiosity in Anne's voice was thickened with concern. Yes, Lily interrupted, her resolve unwavering. We found out you're my birth mom. The words hung in the air, thick like the summer heat. For a beat, no one spoke. All around them, the laughter and music continued, but it felt like a distant world, like they were in a bubble where everything paused, and S' expression shifted from confusion to realization, then to something Emma couldn't quite place. Was it fear? Guilt? I didn't think you would find out this way. Emma's heart thudded. This way? How was there ever a good way? Lily's voice was firm. What do you want from us, Anne? Why now? Anne took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts, but Emma could see the glimmer of tears in her eyes. I never wanted to hurt you both. I thought I could protect you. Protect us? Emma's voice broke slightly. From what? The truth? And S' shoulders slumped. From myself. I made mistakes, and I wasn't ready to face them. Lily stepped closer, her voice softening. But we deserve to know the truth. That's what matters. The tension shifted, wrapping around them like a tapestry woven from fear, regret, and a glimmer of hope. Emma felt her own heart pounding, and she glimpsed the potential of this moment, a chance to mend, or at least to understand. Okay. Let us talk, Anne said finally, her voice trembling slightly. They found a quieter spot away from the festivities, the hum of the festival dimming into a gentle pulse behind them. Emma and Lily exchanged a glance of solidarity, inching toward the unknown together, but as Anne opened her mouth to speak, a sudden, shrill laughter erupted from the crowd. A child stumbled into their space, clutching a brightly painted balloon. As the child darted past, Anne's face clouded with a mix of fear and longing, as if the simple joy reminded her of everything she lost. And in that brief moment, Emma realized they were not just confronting Anne, they were about to unravel a family history that had the potential to tear them apart or bind them closer than ever before. Whatever lay ahead, the truth was finally within reach, yet it felt dangerously fragile. Would it be the catalyst for healing or an earthquake that shattered their already fragile foundation? As they prepared to delve deeper, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that their confrontation was just the beginning of a much more turbulent discovery. What had Anne left unsaid, and how would it change everything they thought they knew? The questions loomed larger as they faced the edge of revelation. As the bustling noise of the festival faded into the background, Emma steeled herself for what lay ahead. The glow of the string lights cast a soft halo around Anne, who looked smaller, more vulnerable, stripped of her previous brightness. Emma wanted to reach out, to comfort her, but everything felt too raw, too uncertain. Lily, Anne began, her voice a trembling whisper. I didn't know how to tell you. I thought about it every day. Emma noticed the way Anne's hands twisted together, a nervous habit that exposed her anxiety. What was so hard to say? Lily pressed, unrelenting in her determination. What could possibly be more difficult than what we already know? Anne hesitated, her gaze darting past the two of them, almost as if she were searching for an escape in the faces of the festival crowd. I was young and scared when I had you. I thought the best thing was to give you a better life than I could provide. Lily shook her head, confusion coloring her features. So you just disappeared? You didn't even try? You chose to leave us in the dark. Anger laced her words, raw and cutting. Emma felt a rush of protectiveness as she watched Lily's heart break, but she also felt that familiar sense of empathy for Anne. How could she balance the hurt her daughter felt and the guilt that clearly tormented this woman? I thought about you every day, Anne repeated, her voice cracking with emotion. Every birthday, every holiday I wanted to reach out, but I was afraid. Afraid you would hate me for what I did. Lily took a step back, her expression shifting from anger to disbelief. So you kept us a secret all these years to protect yourself? There was a moment of silence, a weight pressing down on them, thick and suffocating. A couple celebrating nearby exploded in laughter, drowning out the heaviness. I never wanted to hurt you. I thought I could just disappear, that I could keep you safe from my mistakes. There was an edge of desperation in Anne's tone. I thought your life would be better without me in it. Emma reached for Lily's hand, squeezing it with every ounce of comfort she could muster. But it doesn't work that way, she said softly, her heart aching. It only makes things worse. Secrets don't protect people. They just build walls. Anne's eyes shimmered with unshed tears. I realize that now I made the worst choices. I thought I was protecting you, but now I see how wrong I was. Lily's gaze softened slightly. So what now? What are you going to do? Tell me more about your life. All the things you've experienced, things I missed. I want to know you, but I have to be sure I don't hurt you more than I already have. Anne's voice was thick with remorse. Emma could see Lily's expression shift again, curiosity igniting just beneath the surface of her hurt. You have to understand, I don't know how to feel about any of this. One moment, I want to scream. The next, I just want to hug you. Anne reached out tentatively but stopped short, the distance between them a chasm filled with unresolved pain. Emma caught Lily's eye, and in that gaze, she felt a flicker of understanding, a chance for something greater among this chaos. Maybe, Lily said quietly, we can start by just talking. Tell us everything. A tentative hope glimmered in Anne's eyes as she began, her voice mingling with the night air, threading through the melodies of the festival. But just as Emma leaned in, drawn into this raw moment of revelation, another sound broke through, sharp, jarring. A woman's shout cut through the laughter, a scene unfolding in the crowd. Help! Someone help! The three of them turned, instincts kicking in, the gravity of their own emotions momentarily eclipsed by a sudden crisis. What was happening? Emma's heart raced as she exchanged worried glances with Lily, her breath quickening at the unexpected urgency of the moment. Could this chaotic turn of events derail their fragile reconnection, or would it challenge them to find strength amidst the chaos? As they rushed toward the commotion, Emma held her breath, both terrified and hopeful, unsure of what the night would ask of them next. Emma pushed through the crowd, the sounds of laughter and music fading into the background. The panic in the woman's voice jolted her senses. What's happening? She asked, her heart pounding. Lily and Anne followed closely behind, both equally taut with anxiety. The scene unfolded just ahead, a cluster of people surrounding a young girl who had fallen down, her knees scraped and bloodied. She looked stunned, tears streaming down her face. Panic surged through Emma, the desperate cries drawing them all in with a gravitational force. Step back. Give her some air. A deep voice called from the crowd, urgent but calm. A man knelt beside the girl, assessing her injuries quickly. Is she okay? Lily asked, her voice shot through with fear as they reached the perimeter of the chaos. Emma's eyes darted between the distressed girl and the increasing crowd. The moment felt surreal, like a scene from a movie where time slowed, yet the urgency remained razor-sharp. She needs help, the man said, glancing up at the onlookers. Someone call for a medic. Almost instinctively, Emma's maternal instincts kicked in. I'll help, she said, stepping closer. The crowd shifted, allowing her through. Sweetheart, can you hear me? Emma kept her voice soft and steady, but the tremble in her heart echoed in her chest. The girl's eyes flickered up, wide with fear. It hurts, she sobbed, her small voice trembling. Emma knelt beside her, her own heart breaking at the sight. She placed her hand gently on the girl's shoulder, hoping to provide comfort. I know it does. You're going to be okay. Just breathe, all right? The girl nodded, her gaze shifting to Emma's. In that moment, they connected, two souls lost in pain, and yet somehow tethered together in vulnerability. It felt like a spark in the dark, a reminder that even in moments of chaos, a little light could emerge. Can someone grab a first aid kit? The man asked, his attention still focused on the girl. He worked quickly, checking for other injuries. Emma wanted to help more, to do something tangible, but it felt like every second stretched into eternity. Lily hovered near the edge of the group, her own emotions a whirlwind. Seeing the girl hurt was a jarring reminder of her own pain, of the unresolved feelings swirling around her relationship with Anne. "Mom," Lily called, suddenly breaking away from the gathering. "Come here." Emma looked at the girl, now breathing steadier, then turned to Anne. "Stay with her," she said, urgency in her tone as she followed Lily. "What?" Anne's voice wavered. "What are you doing? I need you to be the person you say you want to be." "This is a moment," Emma insisted, urgency fueling her words. "Show Lily that you're here. Be the mother she needs." The two women locked eyes, the weight of the moment pressing heavily. Anne hesitated, but something in Emma's expression must have sparked recognition because she nodded, her heart brimming with a newfound determination. Emma rushed to Lily, who stood beside a woman speaking anxiously with the festival staff. "They're calling an ambulance," the woman said, worry etched on her face. "I think she is going to be all right, but I keep thinking, what if it were my daughter?" "Exactly," Lily breathed, her previous anger tainted now with empathy. "We can't just watch. We need to help." As they made their way back to the girl, their own tumultuous feelings blended with the urgency of the situation. Emma turned to Lily, a thought swirling in her mind. This moment could shift something between them. Once they reached the little girl again, and stood nearby, but this time, there was a resolve in her posture, a willingness to lean in. "You're going to be all right," she said gently, her voice steady. As the sirens pierced through the atmosphere like a beacon of hope, Emma felt the threads of connection tightening between Anne and Lily, and between all of them. They weren't just standing on the sidelines anymore. But just as the ambulance approached, another wave of chaos erupted from the crowd. A loud crash echoed through the air, sending murmurs and gasps through the bystanders. What now? Emma thought, dread curling in her stomach. The festival was no longer a backdrop but a theater of turmoil. Would this crisis tear them apart again, or weave them together in a way they never imagined? The night continued to unfold, and everything felt like it was teetering on the edge. What other secrets would be revealed amidst the chaos? The crowd recoiled as the crash resonated through the festive air, sending a chill that cut sharper than the night breeze. Emma's pulse quickened. She turned to see people parting like a wave, revealing a toppled food cart, its contents strewn about hot dogs, mustard, and soft pretzels littering the pavement. A couple of boys made quick work of the moment, laughing as they snatched up snacks. "What is wrong with these kids?" Lily muttered, both irritation and fear swimming in her eyes. "Can't they see their SA situation here?" Before Emma could respond, the deeper chaos began. Panic flared among the crowd as people shifted uneasily, their attention now diverted. Laughter faded, overtaken by shouts. Voices rose, a cacophony of concern and uncertainty. "Stand back!" The deep-voiced man barked again, this time looking even more frantic. There was urgency in his eyes. He cast glances at both the girl and the amalgamation of chaos around them. "Emma!" Lily called, voice almost lost in the throng. "We can't just leave her." "I know," Emma assured, looking from Lily to Anne, who stood with a mix of determination and lingering uncertainty. "But we need to help that girl first. We can't ignore her." As if sensing their distress, the girl reached for Emma's hand, her small fingers trembling. "I'm scared," she whispered, vulnerability pouring off of her like the rain of a summer storm. Emma squeezed her hand, grounding herself in that connection. "You're not alone, sweetheart. You've got us," she whispered back, meeting the girl's wide, tear-filled eyes. Lily moved closer, her own worry flickering as she watched her mother nurture the young girl with such tenderness. In that moment, a light flickered between them, a quiet acknowledgement of their shared strength in the face of disruption. Just then, a woman burst through, her face flushed and panicked. "My daughter!" she cried, scanning the crowd frantically. Emma's instincts kicked into high gear. She recognized despair when she saw it. "Do you have a picture? We can help you find her," Emma suggested gently, but the woman shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "No. I can't," she gasped, voice breaking. Behind them, the crowd erupted with screams as another crash reverberated, this one more violent and chaotic. Emma's heart sank as she turned her head just in time to see a group of teenagers pushing and shoving, apparently unaware of the turmoil they were causing. "Hey!" Emma shouted, anger igniting within her. "Stop it! People are hurt." But her words were lost in the rumble as the tension escalated. The festival, which had been a haven of joy, was rapidly morphing into a battleground of fear. Lily stepped beside Emma, her eyes ablaze. "We can't let this go on." She watched, and from the corner of her eye, knowing her mother had the potential to stand strong but feeling the weight of years of silence between them pressing in. "Mom," she breathed, desperation stoking her resolve, "you need to do something. We can't let this happen." And S gaze flickered to the ruckus and then back to her daughter. "You're right. We need to be the calm in this storm." Emma felt a swell of hope. Maybe this moment was the change they'd all been searching for. The chaos might be plucked at their shadows, but there was strength to be forged in the fire. Suddenly, a siren surged, loud and imposing, cutting through the noise. It was a rescue. Someone was coming to help the girl, to bring order back to the bedlam. However, just as Emma thought that perhaps the tide was shifting, another sound echoed something falling, and then the air thickened with a sudden, sharp gasp from the crowd. What now? Emma's heart raced. Uncertainty hung heavy as the night continued to unfold, leaving them suspended in the very edge of chaos. One question loomed large in Emma's mind: how would they find their way through this storm, or would it break them apart forever? The explosion of sound that followed the second crash sent a shockwave through the crowd, panic rippling outwards like a stone cast into a still pond. Emma stood frozen, heart pounding, as her eyes scanned the dispersing crowd. Each face mirrored a different blend of fear, confusion, and desperation, pushing her instincts into overdrive. "Get back!" The deep-voiced man barked again, now seeming more like a guardian than a stranger. He pointed toward a section of the crowd. Emma's gaze followed, landing on a tangle of bodies near a set of stairs, people stumbling as if they were caught in a wave. "Is there someone down?" An voice cracked beside her, breaking through the chaos. Before Emma could respond, she felt the girl's grip tighten. "I want my mom," she wailed, tears streaming. The pit in Emma's stomach twisted tighter. This child, this small being carrying so much fear, reminded her of the fragility of life. "We're going to find her, I promise," Emma assured, breathing in steadiness, her own heartbeat a thunderous echo against the rising cries around them. Lily's courage sparked, pulling Emma from the depths of her own worry. "Mom, look!" She pointed toward a nearby booth where people seemed to cluster, concern etched onto their faces. "Stay close!" Emma yelled, clutching the girl's hand firmly. They pushed forward through the throngs of people retreating in fear. Every shout wore the weight of escalating chaos. As they moved, Emma caught glimpses of frightened children clinging to their parents and couples trying to hold each other up in confusion. The festive lights above, once so cheerful, now flickered ominously, transforming the night into something sinister. Suddenly, without warning, a figure emerged from the crowd, a woman shouting, "Rachel! Rachel!" Her eyes were wild, filled with desperation that mirrored their own. Emma's heart sank. "Is that your daughter?" Emma rushed toward her, dodging elbows and panicked bodies. "We're looking for a girl who yes. She was right here." The woman cried, stumbling forward. "Please, have you seen her? We're going to find her." Emma tried to encourage both the woman and herself, sending a shared sense of urgency humming between them. This wasn't just about the festival anymore. Each person's fear was a thread in an ever-tightening web. They moved as a unit, Emma leading, her heart racing. Lily, Anne. We need to look. Keep your eyes open. And then, just as they approached where the crowd thinned, they caught sight of a glint. It was a small bracelet, delicate and silver, adorned with tiny charms. Emma's breath caught. This could be hers. Do you think? Anne questioned, kneeling to pick it up. She was wearing something like this, I think. Rachel. The mother screamed again, desperation fueling her voice as if it held the power to cut through the chaos. After what felt like an eternity, there was a tiny whimper behind a cluster of adults. Emma shoved her way through, and there she was, the same girl with wide, tear-filled eyes, crouched beside a wall, her small body trembling. Rachel. The mother collapsed to the ground, wrapping this child in her arms. Emma felt an overwhelming rush of relief. It felt like the storm inside her quieted, the tide pulling back. But even as joy seeped in, the chaos around them continued. The shouts echoed, and the sirens grew closer. Mom, Lily whispered, glancing back at Anne. Anne nodded, a new purpose igniting. Everyone needs us. Focus on others, not just ourselves. As new voices joined the loud cacophony, Emma felt strength swelling within her. They were no longer just a family caught in panic, they were a team determined to help others, to bring back the calm that had been lost. But just as they regrouped, the ground shook slightly beneath their feet. Emma glanced around, unease creeping in again. Something sinister felt just out of reach. The night wasn't over yet, and a deeper connection to the chaos loomed. Was that an earthquake? Lily asked, wide-eyed. No, Emma breathed, heart racing anew. We need to move. And as they stepped deeper into the uncertain night, each of them carrying pieces of hope, fear echoed in Emma's mind. What else was about to unravel? The world felt unsteady under Emma's feet. The ground trembled, causing her to clutch Lily's hand tightly, her mind racing through possibilities. They had to keep moving, to stay focused, and help others caught in the chaos. Emma glanced back at the mother, now cradling Rachel close, whispering soothing words that seemed to weave a thin thread of calm in the storm. Right, let us keep looking, Emma said, her voice steady, though her heart thundered in her chest. The cacophony swelled around them, voices overlapping like a dissonant symphony. She stole another glance at the hastily gathered crowd, a sea of anxious faces illuminated by flickering lights from the festival stalls. Over there. And pointed to a group huddled behind a food stand, their faces marred by panic. We should check on them. Emma nodded, and the three of them hurried over, weaving between frantic families and scattered debris. The smell of burned food and smoke hung heavy in the air, reminding Emma that the joyful night had devolved into fear in mere moments. Each step felt heavy, like marching through thick mud, the urgency pressing down on her. When they reached the group, Emma saw a woman kneeling beside a young boy who had fallen against the ground, clutching his ankle. Oh, sweetie, it's going to be okay, she soothed, though her voice broke slightly. The boy whimpered, tears streaming down his face. Is he hurt? Lily asked, her grip loosening slightly on Emma's hand as concern replaced fear. I think he twisted it when everyone started running, the woman replied, biting her lip in worry. I can't carry him back. No one else alone tonight, Emma said, her determination bubbling to the surface. I can help. Lift him gently, and I'll support him. With careful movements, they lifted the boy, Emma positioning herself to act as a crutch. Tears of relief mixed with a few onlookers, some still too engulfed in their own fears to see the small victories forming beneath chaos. We're going to get you to safety, she promised. As they made their way back through the crowd, more children looked up at her with hollow eyes, and she noticed people now stood frozen, unable to make sense of the turmoil around them. They were all lost in the unknown. Suddenly, the piercing wail of an ambulance echoed, breaking through the disorientation. The vehicle was struggling to make its way through the masses, sirens blaring like an urgent plea for help. Emma's pulse quickened. They had to act quickly, to make space for the emergency responders. Quick! Everyone, step back! Emma yelled, her voice rising above the rush of frantic whispers. We need to clear a path. The crowd began to part, small clusters of people responding to Emma's urgent tone, their faces reflecting a shared determination. As they stepped aside, a small group of officers rushed into the growing chaos, giving the paramedics a way through. Keep moving. Emma urged those around her. Then she felt the shifting weight of the boy she was helping, and he looked up, fear still swirling in his eyes. It's okay, she whispered, pouring every ounce of warmth and assurance into her words. You're safe now. Out of the corner of her eye, a group of adults stood, frozen, their eyes wide as they stared into the distance. Emma followed their gaze, heart dropping into her stomach as everything around them felt like it was spiraling even further out of control. In the distance, an ominous rumble rolled through the night, growing closer, blending with the sirens. As Emma squinted against the gathering darkness, fear gripped her once again. What was coming? Emma. Lily's tiny voice broke through her thoughts. What is happening? I don't know, honey, Emma replied, her own heart racing. But we have to stay strong. But as the shadowy figure emerged through the haze, a bolt of dread shot through her. The true nature of the night was still hidden, waiting to reveal itself, and just as her breath hitched in anticipation, the ground shook again, more violently this time. No. What is happening? Emma exclaimed, fear swirling in her mind. What lurked beyond? The crowd? What darkness awaited? Emma's heart pounded as the ground shook again, violent this time, sending ripples of fear through the crowd. Everyone around her instinctively bonded in uncertainty. She held the boy a little tighter, trying to shield him from the dread that threatened to engulf them all. The flickering lights from the festival stalls cast eerie shadows, and the once vibrant colors of the fair were now muted, grayed by panic. Emma! Look! Lily pointed, her voice quivering. Emma followed her finger, her breath hitching as she saw the dark figure moving toward them. It was enormous, almost monstrous under the chaotic lights. Fear wrapped around her like a cold blanket. Stay close, okay? She whispered to both Lily and the boy, trying to keep her voice steady despite the tremors that coursed through her. Panic was a fickle ally in moments like these, and it surged through the crowd like a wave, displacing those who were already unsteady on their feet. As the figure approached, a collective gasp echoed from the onlookers. The air around them felt charged, electricity sparking excitement and dread in equal measure. Emma squinted, trying to make sense of what she was seeing. It loomed closer, and the outlines began to sharpen in the dim light. Is it a monster? The boy whimpered, squeezing Emma's arm. No, it's just Emma began but then lost her words. Just what? A trick of the light? An illusion conjured by fear? She shook her head, focusing instead on the faces around her. Their expressions were a blend of terror and confusion, mirroring her own. Then, with a sudden rush, the figure turned. Relief coursed through Emma as she realized it was just a large piece of festival equipment, a roller coaster car, dangling precariously on the edge of the festival grounds as it screeched forward. Everyone, stay calm. A voice boomed from the emergency responders, running into the chaos. But the panic in the crowd escalated. People screamed, certain that more was coming, that the night was not done unraveling itself yet. Get back! A police officer yelled, shoving everyone away from the precarious structure. This wasn't a game anymore, it was a thrumming chaos that made Emma's heartbeat reach a fever pitch. Together with the small group of bystanders, they stumbled back as the emergency crews got to work. Amidst the raucous cries, Emma spotted a little girl who had wandered too far from her mother, eyes wide, confusion etched on her small face. I can't find my mom. She whimpered, her voice barely a whisper above the chaos. Emma's heart broke at the sight. How many children were lost or alone tonight? Okay, we'll get her back to safety, Emma shouted to Anne and Lily, intent on breaking through the turmoil. Adrenaline coursed through her, giving her energy when fear threatened to drain it away. With determination, they squeezed through the throng of bodies. Emma reached out, taking the girl's hand firmly. "I'll help you," she promised, reaching for the comfort in her voice that I and the chaos. She felt a connection between them, and it fueled her resolve. "Just hold on to me," she instructed, a tingle of responsibility running through her, but just as they were heading back toward where she remembered the mother waiting, another violent tremor rocked the ground beneath them. The lights flickered, and the distant, ominous rumble rose again, this time more threatening. The crowd began to surge around them, scrambling in confusion once again. "What now?" Lily cried, her small body shaking against Emma's side. Emma bit her lip, glancing back at the onlookers. They were shifting, fear blurring their eyes. She felt it then, a growing dread in the pit of her stomach, questioning if they could endure this night and what horrors awaited as the shadows lengthened. "Can we trust anyone in this chaos?" she thought as their situation grew more desperate. Just when she thought she could hold on, tragedy grew closer. Would it be a friend or a foe that revealed itself next? The night was far from over, and the real test for Emma awaited just ahead. The atmosphere pulsated with tension as Emma focused on the girl's tiny hand wrapped securely in hers. Each tremor that shook the ground seemed an echo of their own rising fears, yet in that chaotic moment, Emma found herself adamant she would not be swept away by the storm. She was a mother, a protector, these identities energized her. As the lights flickered and the doubts clawed at her resolve, she knew she had a choice to make. "Stay close, all right?" Emma said, glancing down at the frightened girl. Her innocent eyes searched Emma's, desperate for reassurance amid the chaos. "We'll get you to your mom, I promise." Just then, a wave of panic surged through the crowd again, the cries echoing like a haunting refrain. Emma's heart raced. They needed a path, a way through the bedlam. "Come on, we have to keep moving," she urged, pulling the girl alongside her. As they maneuvered through the evolving sea of uncertainty, Emma caught sight of Lily and enclosing in behind them. Their faces mirrored her determination, the shared purpose binding them anew. "This way," Lily called, spotting a cluster of festival staff who seemed in crisis. Emma followed, quickening her pace despite the weight of anxiety that pressed down. As they threaded closer, Emma noticed a woman standing, her face flushed with distress. "I can't find my daughter," she cried out, and Emma's heart broke anew, reflecting on the countless families scattered amongst the chaos. In a moment, she realized they weren't just caught in a frantic dance of chaos, they were part of a collective struggle. Families needed each other. The semblance of order needed to be restored. "Let us help," Emma said, urgency filling her words. She stepped closer to the mother, her voice calm yet fierce. "We'll look together." "What does she look like?" As they began searching, Emma's resolve ignited a flicker of hope amid the turmoil. Other festival-goers began to join the cause, their fear transforming into a wave of determination, a coalition born from the depths of distress. Minutes felt like hours as they scoured the area. With every face Emma saw, every twist and turn they made, she felt the collective heartbeat of a community fighting back against despair. And just when it seemed darkness would overshadow their mission, a boy shouted, "There she is!" Emma turned, locking eyes with a little one the daughter suddenly spotted under a nearby food stall. Standing still, wide-eyed and trembling, she appeared terrified but safe. "Mommy!" she squealed, and the few seconds that followed felt suspended. Emma watched the mother's face light up, relief flooding her features as she ran toward her daughter. In that instant, Emma grasped the depth of the profound connection they shared. It was clearer than any blood ties or ignored pasts. Each person during this turbulent night had found themselves woven into a collective tapestry, one strengthened by vulnerability and compassion. Together, they regrouped, creating a small wall against the chaos behind them. "You did it," Anne said, pride shining in her eyes as she looked at both Emma and Lily. Lily beamed back, her face radiant. "You brought everyone together, Mom." "We all did," Emma replied, animated energy stirring in her veins. Inspiration radiated from the triumph of all they had done amidst the fear. The night continued to swirl, unpredictable and electrifying, but victory thrummed through their hearts. They had been fearless, unified in the face of fragmentation. Then another boom echoed through the air, but this time it wasn't fear, it was the sound of fireworks erupting above the festival, cascading colors spilling like potently sweet dreams across the night sky. Emma's breath caught as she caught their shimmering light, igniting a brilliant reminder of hope, rebirth, and connection. As they watched in awe, the fireworks painted the chaos with beauty, and Emma felt the warmth of what they had forged. In that moment, she turned to Lily and Anne, sharing a radiant smile. Their hearts shone brighter than the spectacle above. Together, and whispered, her voice rising over the cheer of the crowd, a pact ignited in the air between them. Always, Emma affirmed. The warmth of her promise wrapped around them all, binding them in newfound strength. They had weathered a storm, faced truths, and illuminated fierce love in the wake of struggle. As they left the festival that night, the echoes of laughter melting into the background, Emma grasped Lily's hand tightly, feeling rid of fear and rich with promise. Each moment led them to this an uncharted territory painted with possibilities, filled with healing and connection. They didn't yet know what tomorrow would bring, but as they stepped forward into the unknown, Emma was filled with certainty. They had each other, resilience fueling their spirits. And that was enough. Now, to keep these stories of transformation alive, you need to act now. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed that algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share. You need to subscribe now.